Here's that new old stock Lasko 3733 from 1999 with the messed up motor. A bunch of theorems have been coming in on the video where I showed it for the first time. There was mention of checking out the switch. There wasn't any specification as to what about it, but I presume the continuity of the switch, which I guess we should not put the meter away then. We'll check the continuity of the switch. I don't think it's going to be a switch problem. And then somebody else said something about the magnets in the rotor not being magnetic or something, which I just don't understand how that could possibly be. I mean, a magnet's a magnet. It's not going to just disappear. The magnetism shouldn't just disappear, but who knows. In the past, I've been told by Tori that if you do a good service on the motor in terms of the bearings, it returns to normal functionality. I don't get that at all. That makes no sense, but I have witnessed it happen. So I think that's going to be our starting point. We're gonna do that, and then if that doesn't work, I don't have any means of like measuring magnetism or anything, so I can't do that. I guess we can check the switch anyways, just for the sake of curiosity, though I really don't think that the switch is messed up. So I don't know, it's a weird problem. There's a multitude of solutions, or potential proposed solutions. I don't like any of them. I don't think any of them make any sense, but we're going to try them and see what happens. It'd be nice to come up with a solution that not only works but makes sense and explains what's going on. Unfortunately, I highly doubt that we're going to walk away from this with that type of solution. Yeah, this is little to no hours. There is no trace of any amount of dust on here. We can fix this. It's another odd thing to have happen. The whole top of this is all like bulged out improperly. That's a little better. It's still kind of messed up though. Ah, cheese. I meant to do a before and after comparison. I guess we can still do that. It's just not as accurate because now the guards aren't on. I suppose I can just hold the guards in place, because the guards do make a huge difference in the amount of airflow it moves. It seems a little better today. It's still not what it should do, but it seems a little better. I did hear the bearings during that test and they sounded kind of dry. So Maybe it is bearing related. It sure seems to spin freely. Maybe when it gets up to speed the friction builds. I don't know. The blade is severely out of balance. Once we get the bearings more freely, we should be able to see what point is exactly out of balance. This might be stuck on the shaft pretty good because it's been on there for 25 years. That wasn't bad. Yep, see there's no dust in here. This is one of the ways you can usually tell, because hardly anybody actually goes and cleans inside here. This is clean. This has not been used. Here's our mystery motor. Why aren't you working right? Let's get this motor opened up. We'll clean out the bearings, re-lubricate the bearings, and put it back together. Let's just try running it without the blade to see if the motor sounds like it's having a problem. Other than the bearing sounding a bit dry, it doesn't sound like it's having any kind of problem. I thought these were able to slip through there, but I guess not. Nope. I'll have to work on it inside here, which is not ideal. There's a lot of sharp metal in this cabinet. I gotta get carpet back on the bench here. I really enjoyed that at the old location. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and open up this motor. Do we need to sand the shaft down? Actually, the shaft still has a little bit of lubrication on it when the blade was slid on. That's why it come off real easy. I don't think that we need to sand it down. It seems like it's fine. I will turn it on and just clean it off real quick with the cloth. You know, the motor feels like it's got plenty of torque. It's just so bizarre. It really is. Yeah, that's got a lot of torque to it, so why the heck doesn't it work right? I just don't get it. I remember taking this fan apart, well, not this particular one, but the one that we had with my grandfather back in the day, and we would oil it. It came off very easily. So here's the motor itself. I don't see any reason why this would be any less magnetic today than it was 25 years ago. I do see a couple of things I don't like about the motor here. These motors, although they worked and they could hold up to quite a few hours, these are not the best quality motors. Look at this winding here. This wire is just inside there, and it should be like this. And this this will lead to premature failure, because what happens is during operation this wire will vibrate with the motor and the insulation will wear off, and then it'll arc and burn out. Then you got to get the motor rewound. And these motors were notorious for having loose windings like that. See, this is loose too. This is loose. All three of these is loose here. Loose windings here. This is terrible. This whole thing needs to be revarnished before we put it into service. But that's a different problem for a different day. I will do that before I put it into service, but we're not going to do that today. So today we're just going to clean out the motor, or the bearings rather. So we're going to go through with a ticker towel here. This is kind of a heavy duty one, and we're going to put this in here and clean this out. Even though I don't really think that it's that dirty. Well, actually it is a little bit dirty. If this fixes it, I'm going to be completely beside myself, because it doesn't make any sense. I'm glad that it would be fixed, but there's value in understanding why something is the way it is. And to go through this and not understand why it is the way it is, it's going to irritate me tremendously. Plus, I would have to question, how long is it really going to hold? Alright, that's the clean out of that bearing. I'll do the same thing on the front here. And there is a fair bit of dirt coming out of there, but I mean, it's not anything crazy. I've seen stuff in way worse shape than this still running great. That is dirty. I'll give it that much. It's much dirtier than the rear bearing was. There is noticeable scoring on this shaft already, just with the very few hours that this has on it, so maybe there was a bearing problem. It's not inconceivable that all the oil dried out over the last 25 years that this wasn't used. shaft, not the shaft, the rotor's kind of slick. Like there's some oil on it. Doesn't matter, but it's kind of weird. Alright, so now we're going to re-lubricate the motor bearings. We're going to add oil to the wicks here. Use a brand new can of zooming spout. Messed up can of zooming spout. Stupid zooming spout comes right out of the thing. Yeah, these were very dry. You can see the difference in color and appearance. Just take a couple drops per hole. Getting a little sloppy here. It's kind of interesting how there's no felt in one of those holes, as if there's provision for an oil port that should have been there but wasn't. We could add one. Could very easily just tap a nail through there and add an oil port. Okay, so that's the lubrication process of the bearing surrounds. So now we'll put a little bit of oil on the shaft here. Slide this in. Now put some on this end of the shaft. And we need to make sure that we realign the screw holes. These don't need to go very tight, just like 2-finger tight at most. Sometimes the shaft is worse than it was before. Just tap it around with a screwdriver handle a bunch of times and it aligns the bearings. They're self-aligning bearings. spinning very freely. I can see the oil down in the shaft here. Add a little bit more. Oh, I got oil on the carpet. Now this is spinning very, very freely now. Should run very good. Best it possibly can if it was a bearing issue. I'm not convinced yet. Let's see what happens. So we're ready to reattach this to the fan struts now. Wait a minute, what did I do here? How is it? Oh, this is not, okay, never mind, I'll go like this. Is turned over way too many times. Alright, the magical re-lubrication process has been completed. Let's see if it behaves any differently. Really don't see why it would, but maybe there was something such that the friction was mounting up as it got to speed. I don't know. Sounds different to me. Spinning really nice now. I don't hear the bearings anymore. Not quite free enough to show us where it's out of balance. But it's quite free. Usually you can only get that with ball bearings. Alright, here we go. How will it operate? It's good as new. That's normal. Normal low speed. That's not normal medium. The low I think is normal. Yep, the low is normal. Medium is still slow, but that's what I typically encounter. This is weird. That's not right. That's totally normal. So the low has been restored. Medium is flaky as can be. I don't think that's quite up there yet. Now it's drawing 1.95 amps as opposed to 2.02. That's a very small difference, and perhaps the change in voltage on the line from day to day can account for that change. I don't know. The low is 100% normal. Medium is a joke. The high is almost there. I don't think it's quite 100% though. No, it's not. High's not 100% either. So why is the low correct but nothing else is? The low is 100%. The medium stinks. No, it's not quite up to speed. So that fixed part of the problem, but definitely not 100%. So now, I guess we'll move on to the switch, because we can get values on the switch in terms of the resistance. I really don't see how the switch could be failing, but who knows? I guess it's worth a check. At this point, I kind of feel like just taking the switch and putting it into my other one so that at least it works properly. So here's the switch. I need like a paper's clip, or actually the meter leads might work. You have to insert something larger to be able to release the wire from the clip. It's kind of tricky to do one at a time when you have a ribbon cable like this. So we know that well, let's see. Put it on ohms. Let's see what we get. Now there should be pretty much no resistance across a basic switch like this. That might be the comment. That's very little resistance. Very little resistance. There was some there. I'm not sure if I'm just not getting a good connection on the meter. Yeah, very little resistance. I'm just not getting a good connection. So I don't think there's anything wrong with the switch. To further prove it's not the switch, we can just wire it directly to the mains. Do I have what I need to do that? I can just take the wires out of the switch completely. You know that the textured side goes on the right if the knob is facing up. I'll just take the leads out of here. Or maybe not. I've never had good results with taking this type of stuff out of the switches and then putting it back, so I'm kind of a little hesitant to do this, but we do need some answers here. This is the wrong apparatus to use. I need something a little bit thinner. I got it out and ended up using a tack, but now I think the switch is messed up, so I don't like to do that. Alright, so what we'll do here is, we know that the medium is screwed up, so we'll take the middle contact, which I would guess is probably medium, and we'll join that with the I guess we better check the wire too, because you know, maybe the cord is going bad. I doubt it, but let's see. Reasonable. Cord's fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that apparatus. It's something else. Just don't know what. Alright, let's see how this behaves. Why is this all crooked? Okay, this is irritating me now. Nope, still not right. So it's not the switch, not the cord. I don't know what it is. The fact that low came back to normal, medium is by far the worst, which is consistent with so many of the other ones that we've seen, and high is flaky. I'm not sure what to do at this point. It's oiled. I think that I'm just going to turn it on high and let it run and see what happens. I don't like to run stuff when I know something's wrong with it, but I don't know what else to do. I mean, I guess it could just always be used on low, but that's kind of stupid too. I really hope that this switch isn't busted now, because this switch is shot. There's definitely something wrong with it. Doggone it. That stinks, because I could have at least used the switch in the other one. Yeah, you can hear the contacts are all screwed up in there. And these are hard to find too. Now some people have been able to fix these. I'm not into that kind of meticulous work. I'll give it a shot, because otherwise this is just a total loss here. I'm so mad that this switch broke. I knew I shouldn't have taken it off there. There's a reason why I never take that off. Maybe it's not broken. Maybe it's okay. I'm just afraid that there's going to be a short in it somewhere, because you can hear metallic pieces moving around. Well, I guess we try it and just see if it blows up. I mean, the motor's already shot as it is, so if it messes up, it messes up. So I think that it goes like this. Nope, it's still rattling, so I'm very nervous about this. And this is not going in there properly. Now see, this switch is ruined. It's not holding the wires. It's just pulling right out, so that's not going to make a good connection. Well, that stinks. Now I know I can't even get the parts from this. Well, I don't know. I am drawing a blank on this one. Now I can't run it at all because I got no stinking switch. And these are not easy to come by either. I've tried to find replacement switches like this before and I've not had any success. That really bites. Well, I guess that's a trashy end to this one. We have not a functional fan and we don't have a functional switch. Oh. I have to keep looking into this further. I just opened this up because I figured, well, it's already busted, it can't get any worse. So I opened it up and I found that the rattling sound is that little piece of metal there. So if we cancel that out and we bend these contacts back up, I bet this might work again. And I wonder if we can use the same concepts to repair this switch in the other one upstairs that's not working properly. This is very simple, and I really think that I've been into the switch on that other one before. And it's just basic contacts here, a little metal thing. Very, very simple apparatus. What is not looking too good is this contact. It's very dirty. We'll clean that up. And maybe that's what the commenter was talking about in the switch. Something like that. So that's not a bad suggestion. And as we can see here, there might be some merit to it. But since we've seen this run from line voltage straight and still not be correct, I unfortunately don't think that this will fix it. But I'll get that contact good and clean like it is now. I'll go through all these tabs and make sure these are clean. Now I just got to figure out how to get this to stay back together. I guess some crazy glue or something like that would probably do it. I don't know if I have any on hand. I might. Let me check. I do have some, but it looks like it might be the spoiled. Haven't used this in a long time. I'm almost completely certain that this is going to be spoiled. Yep, it's spoiled. Let me see if I have any more. I have some more. And this is much newer, so hopefully this is not spoiled as well. I have a feeling it's spoiled, but let's see. Huh? Maybe it's not. Huh, it's not spoiled. Alright, we might be able to fix this then. This tripod is so fantastic. So what I will do here is I'll just put a little bit of glue along the outsides here. Hopefully this glue is in good working order. It is not as old as the other glue, but it's definitely getting old. Now I need to clamp this down. think it says only hold it real strong for like 30 seconds or something. What does it say? Press parts together, hold for 15 to 30 seconds. I'll just hold it for a little while and then I'll grab those clips I had before and clamp it together. Alright. Well, let's see what that does. That might work. I'll come back in like 15 minutes or so and we'll see. This says leave undisturbed for 5 minutes. Full cure 12 to 24 hours. I think half an hour should be good. It's so dry down here. So I'll go do something else for a little while and then we'll come back on this video. It's been about an hour now. Let's see what kind of condition this is in. Seems like it's pretty solid. So let's go ahead and see if we can fix this. So for some reason these wires are all different lengths now. That's kind of weird. I think we're going to trim those down to be all the same length. I don't know how the heck that happened. But just adds to the mysteries of whatever else is going wrong with this VN. Nothing like having the right tool. Alright, so we'll stick this in here. It's holding. So this, I think it's supposed to bend like that. Yeah. I like how that's doing that, but that's the way it's supposed to go. So the switch needs to end up being like this, I think. I think it ends up like that. Well, that worked. It broke a little bit it's starting to, I gotta glue it a little better. Let's just see if this actually works, because if that works, then I might have inadvertently taught myself how to fix these switches. The heck? It still feels okay. Let's see if it works. It does not work. I don't understand why it doesn't work. Well, we're going to have to do a part 2 on this one. I am now determined to try to fix that switch, because it sure seems to me like it should be working. But it's getting too late to keep playing with it. So we're going to leave this as it is for now. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll keep playing with this switch. And if I can figure out how to fix this switch, then maybe I'll try to fix the one upstairs as well, to restore the functionality to that one, because the switch is getting so bad it almost doesn't work. Just another item of interest. As I was cleaning up today, I found this bag of spare parts that I got from the newer one. We have a switch, which I kept the leads on so I can just do a solder or whatever, not detach them. And we have a handle. So I could use this stuff to restore the one upstairs back to its original glory. But it'd be nice if we could fix this one. Fix this switch. Because then maybe I could use the method I used to fix this switch to fix the one upstairs.